All right, we'd like to welcome Mr. Aaron Cockerill to the show. He hails from Stony Mountain, Manitoba. He is a two-time male amateur golfer of the year in Manitoba. He proceeded to go to the University of Idaho on a golf scholarship, onto the Canadian Tour for 3 seasons, and currently plays on the DP World Tour, formerly known as the European Tour. Welcome to the show, Aaron. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Kate. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So maybe tell us a little bit about what the transition was like from university golf onto the Canadian Tour and now onto the World Tour.
Um, I guess starting in university, like everything is just looked after for you, and you're part of a team. So you're just traveling with 5 guys, and your coach books all your hotels and flights, um, and it's serious, but it feels a lot more just for fun. When you're playing professionally, you're playing to make money, and it seems a lot more serious, and you have to look after everything on your own. Your travel, you're just all that stuff. Your training, you have to decide kind of what you want to do in every aspect, and like your own little CEO of your own little company, I guess. Yeah, so it's a lot more responsibility, and it feels a lot more serious and not just like a game sometimes.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it's a lot more work.
Yes.
And
Yes.
hopefully that doesn't take away from the fun of golf, which we will for sure be touching on shortly. But maybe can you give us kind of an outline of what a day in the life of a tour pro or a week in the life of a tour pro might look like? Because most of us just go out, we hack around on the golf course, maybe squeeze in 9 holes after work or 18 holes with our buddies on the weekend, but we have real jobs. So what is it like for golf to actually be your job and for your life to revolve around playing this amazing sport?
I think the easiest way for me to answer that would be just like what a normal tournament week would look like, because I try and do the same thing most weeks. I'll have a series of games that I like to complete and practice drills, basically. And these are mostly Monday to Wednesday. So it would cover all sorts of like wedge play, long iron play, driving tests, um, putting games, just like all that type of stuff. That would be Monday to Wednesday. And Thursday to Sunday is obviously the tournament. And mixed in throughout there, I'm probably going to have 3 workouts, a couple.
Yay! This is the part I'm super excited about. I love all the golf practice stuff, but of course, we've been working together for several years now. And the workout part is kind of the interesting part to me because training all different types of people and athletes, specifically for you, like how do you fit that in when you're traveling and training and trying to get in your golf tournaments and practice all the time?
Yeah, sometimes it's hard because you don't know what we're going to have access to, like gym wise, as we've been over. And then you also just like, I guess when you're working out enough, you're not going to be sore, but you don't want to be sore, fatigued for the tournament. And it's just a long season, and we don't really have an off season. So you're just trying to make sure that your body is feeling good from Thursday to Sunday. So I would try and do those Monday and Wednesday would be 2 of them. And then mix in another one throughout the week when I feel good. As well as like a couple of speed sessions as well. But yeah, it's just trying to manage everything and make sure you feel good, especially on Sunday, because it is a long week trying to learn the golf course. You're flying all around the world, time zones. Not, trying to feel sorry for myself, but it's just something that you have to figure out. And over the course of time, you figure out what works best for you.
Yeah, for sure you're juggling a lot and you have to manage all that. But I feel like over the years you've learned to do that, especially with the extra travel demands of playing most of your tournaments now overseas. And just making sure that your body is as ready as it can be for each tournament, all the while managing the demands of a season and making sure that you can withstand the physical demands of an entire season, staying injury free and relatively fatigue free so you can play at your best. Um, Biggest surprise of tour life? Is there anything since you've started out being a golf professional that has surprised you, either good or bad, that you weren't expecting?
Um, I think now I just realize like how spoiled we are. I take it for granted, but like each week, like there's always breakfast and lunch provided for us in a nice fancy players lounge. Like there's clubs manufacturers there with their trucks, like willing to fit you into any sort of golf club you may want that will help you. The courses are always in really nice condition. We get to play such good golf courses that they've been like, some of the weeks we go there and they're like, I played in a pro-am in Sweden and I played with one of the members and he's like, oh yeah, we haven't been allowed to golf out here for 4 weeks because they wanted to get the course in good shape. Like it's crazy. And you realize how spoiled we are, you know, and sometimes I come back and I come home and play Toulon and it's like, oh, the greens aren't great, but you know, I'm just a little spoiled for the most part. So
Nothing against Toulon, a great little track
oh,
in southern
exactly.
Manitoba.
It's up and I love it and I play there all the time when I'm at home. But yeah, we're just very spoiled and I don't want to take that for granted. And sometimes you hear some of the veteran guys, they'll be kind of like bitching, like, oh, the greens aren't great this week, the food's not great this week. And it's like, it could be a lot worse. So just be appreciative of what we have and enjoy it.
Awesome. And that's one of the things that we love about you, Aaron, is that even though you have gone on to become this very successful golf professional, is that you're still very humble and down to earth. So that's great news that you try to appreciate all those things that are granted to you that you have earned, but at the same time that you still appreciate those things. Favorite exercise. So over the years, we've done, I don't know, I'll say hundreds of different exercises or variations of different exercises. Do you have one that sticks out that's your favorite?
Probably just like a barbell squat. It
Okay.
feels good. You feel strong. You can kind of do it like how we have been recently with a little bit less weight and it's trying to be a little more explosive. You can try and do it just heavy and feel strong after.
Yeah.
Get the legs going. And I feel like that's good for a golfer trying to generate speed from the ground up. And we've done that for a while. And I feel like my form is getting better. And yeah, who doesn't love a good squat?
Lots of people, but
Yeah.
I do love a good squat. There are people that don't like them. They are one of the fundamental movements just in terms of general population and being able to get up and down off the ground or out of a car. But for golfers specifically, and you kind of touched on this, it is an important exercise to help generate power and speed through the golf swing in terms of pushing through the ground and being strong enough to use those forces into the golf ball. And you also kind of touched on how we've changed your squat a little bit to add a little bit more of explosiveness to it. That all is dependent on the time of year. And there's times when, as you mentioned, we try to add a little bit more weight to your squat and get you stronger. And other times where we're focusing a little bit more on the speed part of it. So that's good to know that's your favorite. We'll keep working on it. Do you have a not so favorite exercise?
Anything upper body. No,
Nothing specific, just from the core upwards is your least favorite?
I like working the legs a bit more, so we'll go with that. I don't know. I feel like we've done a lot. I don't have anything that sticks out that is horrible.
Okay, good.
I enjoy doing most of them, and I enjoy changing it up and doing new exercises. And I don't know. It seems like it's all you know what you're doing. I just do what I'm told and follow the plan, and hopefully I start hitting the ball further
Yeah.
than I have in years past, and just keep slowly building.
Yeah, and that's the challenging part. And we've talked about this before, and I think most people know that the better you get at something, the harder it is to improve at it. So at this stage, just working on like tiny little incremental improvements that over time kind of add to little bits that add to big things, but takes so much time and work. So kudos to you for continuing to work at those little things. Before we wrap up here, what does this upcoming season look like for you?
So I've played on the European Tour, DP World Tour now. This is year 4, and this will be the best schedule that I've had. I started the year last year with kind of conditional status without getting too much into it. I was able to get into most of the tournaments, but not all of them. And this year, because I played pretty good last year, I will have basically full status. So get into pretty much all the tournaments I want to play. I'm leaving on Friday to go to Dubai for 3 weeks. We have 2 tournaments in Abu Dhabi and Dubai to start the season. Big tournaments, which I've never previously played in because I didn't get into them. So yeah, that's going to be fun. And all the big names usually show up for those ones. So it'll be good to see how I stack up against the big names of golf. I've played in tournaments with some of those guys before, but a lot of them will be there these 2 weeks. So it's going to be fun. And then we're having our first baby in February, so I'll be home for that. And then after that, I don't know, it's a bit of a whirlwind, but we're going to Asia at some point, South Africa. And then once the summer hits, it's mostly in Europe for the rest of the year.
And can we expect any tournaments in North America in case your fans in Manitoba have any hopes of watching you either on TV or in person?
Yeah, hopefully the Canadian Open again. Last year that was my first time playing. I got an invite from Golf Canada. It's not guaranteed again this year, but I played all right last year and thought I represented the Canadian crop pretty good. So hopefully I
Most
get another one.
definitely.
Yeah, and probably two tournaments again in the US that are the co-sanctioned events with the PGA Tour and the European Tour. So one's in Kentucky and one's in California. Those are in the summer, I think in July. So three tournaments, most likely in North America. And if I play good in those, it could be more. But yeah, those are the only three over here, and then the rest are somewhere else around the world.
Yeah, it's kind of nice that those tours are working together to have some kind of crossover event so players can kind of go back and forth. Being the only Canadian on the DP World Golf Tour makes it a little bit of an extra challenge for you traveling back and forth compared to most of the players that come from Europe or Asia. But it seems like you've managed your travel and your training schedule very well, and you've already had some successful results last season and already at the beginning of this season, which started at the end of 2022.
Yeah.
So, congratulations and keep up the good work. You are officially Manitoba's favorite golfer.
Sounds good. I'll take it. Thank you.
Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Kate.